everyone, this video is going to be on essential makeup items that you may need for your school formal or for your school prom, or in Australia as we call it, your school ball. Now this isn't going to be a tutorial on how to do your makeup for the formal or for the ball, but rather makeup items that I think are really important and that you may need in preparation for the night. Now the first thing that I think is really important is having primers. Now there's 3 primers that I think you'll need. You'll need a face primer, an eye primer, and then a lip primer. So a face primer, now this one is by Rimmel London. This is relatively cheap. I think it's about $12. You can get it from any drugstore. Now this is what you apply before you put your foundation on, and why you need this is basically to stop your makeup from sliding all over the place when you're dancing, and also just to make sure that your makeup lasts the whole night, and so it doesn't put it on and then it starts to fade after a couple of hours. The second thing that you'll need is a lip primer, and this one is by Models Prefer, so you can see it there, and it just seams up like that. So it's just pretty much like a lip balm, but what it does, it gets your lips ready for lipstick or lip gloss or whatever you're going to put onto your lips. This one I think was also about $12, so relatively cheap again. I would suggest using this at least 2 hours before you start to do your makeup. So by the time it comes to putting on your lipstick, your lips are going to be nice and soft and moisturised. Last thing that you'll need is an eye primer from Urban Decay. So this one's actually empty, so I need a restock on it, but it just has a little brush like that. So you can see, and this is what's going to keep your shadows in place all night long. Don't use an eyeshadow primer. Most of the time your eyeshadow will sort of smudge all over your face. You'll have those crease marks in your eyes and it just won't look that attractive. Other things to consider as well is if you're going to be doing your eyeshadow and maybe you haven't applied eyeshadow before or you're new to makeup, it's really important to maybe pick up a couple of brushes just to make sure that when you're applying it to your face you don't have to use your finger all the time and you just get more of a precise look, you know, that kind of professional salon finish, which is what you want. I'd also suggest picking up an eyeshadow palette, and this one's from BH Cosmetics. I think this was about $15, which is quite cheap, and I would experiment with some different eye looks a few weeks before your ball, just so you're comfortable with it and you know what look you're going to go for, and it's not something that you're just going to be whipping up on the night. This is the 88. You can see you get a nice selection of colours in there. I guess to really experiment with lots of different looks and find what works well with the dress you're wearing, which is obviously the most important thing. Now going back to the face, something else which is really important to consider is obviously if you're going to your prom or your formal, a lot of photographs will be taken, and when the flash goes off you don't want that really white blown out kind of look, so that's where it's important with the foundation that you use, and I would suggest using a foundation which is SPF free, which basically means it doesn't have any sun cream in it. What I suggest for this is the Revlon Colour Stay. Now this is actually an oil-free foundation, so when I apply this to my skin it mattifies my skin and I don't have that shiny kind of look. Also it's important to remember to have a waterproof mascara, not because you'll be crying but rather because just you'll be dancing a bit, sweat might be building up and you don't want your mascara to run and to have that sort of panda eye effect. So going for a waterproof mascara is probably a really wise choice. Something to think about with the eyes. I know this isn't for everyone, but sometimes wearing some false lashes as just a one-off occasion for your ball can be really cool because it sort of glads up your look, it adds that little bit more drama. These ones are by Sugar Pill. They're quite long. You don't necessarily have to go for something this dramatic, but I mean if you wanted to, that's really cool. Your nail polish, obviously you want to choose a colour which is going to complement your dress or your outfit. If you're not sure, it's best just to go with like a nude colour. This one's by the Julie G collection. Perfume for the night, choosing sort of like a new scent that you haven't worn before can be really nice. This one's Vera Wang Princess, and this is actually one of my favourite perfumes of all time. It's got such a sweet sort of girly scent, perfect for a formal or for a ball. And the last thing that I'm going to talk about is tanning. Now obviously if you want to tan up for the ball, sometimes going out and getting a full-on spray tan might not necessarily be the best thing, especially if you haven't done it before, because you can come out looking quite orange or just unnatural. I like the Le Tan fake tan. Now this one is the rub-in cream and this one's a spray tan. I find this doesn't streak, and after one application it gives you that extra glow, but it doesn't look fake. The other thing that you can also get is the face tan. Just be careful with this because sometimes it can come out quite dark, and I definitely practice using it before the day of your ball. The last thing I should say about any makeup that you're applying for your ball or for your formal is to remember that practice in preparation is definitely key. you don't want to leave it to the last day to be trying out makeup looks, because in case that it didn't go well, it's just not enough time to correct it. So I would start playing around with eye looks and face looks and your hair if you're going to do your hair at least 2 weeks before. So at least you know when you come to the day, you're going to have all your makeup laid out, ready to go, so it's going to be a stress-free day. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, leave them below. Enjoy your formal or your prom or your ball, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye!